March 28th. From the elementary school. We are all here, are all specific, but we will not be here, so we're all good. So we'll go right into the budget workshop, starting with American Heritage Commission.
Where we gotta go?
Yeah, grab a chair and then, yeah. Yeah, Right.
Good evening. Audrey Sherman, Secretary for the Winter Evening.
Well, I'm Dick Sherman, the chairman of the.
We had requested a budget of $4,200, which was the same as what we had received last year. So we have asked for the increase, and we're hoping that you will give what we asked for.
Does anybody have any questions regarding what's in your budget or? Same as last year. Perfect. If nobody has any questions, then that was really easy. I didn't even. No, really. I think last year you gave such a good presentation that I think it's exactly the same and it's amazing. Thank you for what you do. I just lucky that. On the 4 which is ready for our voting. I don't even see that. So how about on 4C and when they're is there a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on to Robert Library, and we will put the registers.
Okay, here I am.
I know.
You should have all my stuff, I assume.
Yeah.
Lots of pages and all that. We're not changing our request because we understand we're trying to manage a pretty tight budget. I think I outlined everything, so if you have any questions, feel free. We are doing our best.
So
And you're not all familiar faces at the library, and I don't understand. You should come in and see our new floor. That's our new brand. Things you can do.
So, Paul, how has, like, we went over last year, like, attended people who coming, do you have increase in?
Well, you remember that, so if you look at the past year, we just gotten past this fun thing there.
Right.
But people came in anyhow. Probably not quite as many, but yes, it's picking up, we're getting more all the time. The ramp has been a help. You had some people who couldn't come in, now they can, and they do.
All right, any additional questions? It is flat funding, anything? Thank you, Paul.
Hope you have an easy night all the way. Don't jinx it. No, I wouldn't want to do that. Thank you.
We're out to see arts and culture.
Okay.
Do you want me to say wherever you'd like to go?
Hi, my name is Debbie Williams. I'm the chair of the East Windsor Arts and Culture Committee. I started the committee in October of 2021, and the purpose was to bring an awareness and appreciation and enjoyment of arts and culture by the entire community, and to bring the community together by participating in different events and projects. And our mission is also to collaborate with as many entities and businesses and committees and commissions and boards in town as possible. We operated for the first 8 months of our existence without a budget, and we were able to complete a few small projects. And also the mural on the Charlie Museum wall, which we paid for through crowdfunding. Another project that we ran was our logo contest. Here's our business card. You can all see the logo that won our logo contest. Thank you. And then in the budget year, 22-23, we were allotted $4,000 in the town budget, which we're very grateful for. And we're not asking for any more this year. We're asking for the same $4,000. And I have some handouts. The first page is a list of everybody that we have collaborated with thus far. And then, if I have time, can I go through?
Your real budget's 4,900, that's all. You missed the.
Oh, because of the recording secretary. Yeah, so 4,900, same as last year. All right, so the first page is everybody that we've collaborated with. And then if you turn the page, we're collaborating with their high school on 2 projects. The first one is a fence pump installation, which is going to start this upcoming Sunday, April 2nd. We purchased, along with a generous donation to the high school, these plastic cups, and they fit into the chain link fence that surrounds the now defunct tennis courts. It's going to say Panther Pride and then have a huge panther head, and it's going to be in black and gold and white. So Arts and Culture is going to start the installation on Sunday. We're going to do the outline and the higher parts that you need a ladder to install. And then hopefully seniors who need community service or any students who need community service who just want to help out will finish the project sometime next week.
There's a couple up front.
Another project that we're doing is for the graduating seniors. We have these pallet boards that we cut and sanded and painted, and each of the graduating seniors is going to get a board, and they're going to be able to customize it with their name or the name of the college they're going to, or branch of military that they're going to go into, pretty much anything they want to. And then during the graduation ceremony, we're going to bundle these together and we're going to display them for everybody to see. And then after the graduation, they can take their boards back. We also talked about maybe doing a mural at the high school outside the back door, where people go in like the basketball games. And then just today, I was talking with Principal Anderson about another project where you can vinyl wrap the columns out front, and they would have the words plan, persist, and pride. So those are some upcoming projects with the high school. With the Broadbrook Elementary School, we're going to be painting a mural on the back wall, outside wall of the cafeteria. Every year they do a one school, one book project. And so the mural is going to depict all of the books they've done for the past 10 years and leave space for future books to be added to. Another project that we're working on is the 4th grade River Rock project. So each of the graduating 4th graders will receive a river rock that they can paint, and then they're going to put it in an area outside of the gym next to the sidewalk. And every year the graduating 4th graders will add to it, and eventually it'll wind its way through the bushes in front of the gym. We also are talking with them about putting a mural inside the school, since all of the walls are white. We thought we would add some color. We're going to be partnering with the Warehouse Point Library, who is working to install a new front entranceway. And so when people come in that way, there's a blank wall in front of them, and they want us to paint a mural there. So we're talking about doing that and adding on some other activities and projects that go along with that. During the Parks and Recreation Summer Concert Series, we held 3 arts and crafts showcases, which supported 11 local artists and brought attention to their work. During National Night Out, we also did a collaborative project where we just had a blank canvas and anybody could come up and just add whatever they wanted to it. This finished canvas was then on display at the Warehouse Point Library, and now it's a permanent installation at the East Windsor Police Department. In the next month, we're going to be painting the soccer kickboard at Osborne Fields. One of the East Windsor High School students designed two soccer players, and we're gonna have the East Windsor Soccer Club logo. The soccer club is paying for the paint, and the students are gonna paint the mural. We're also collaborating with the River Commission to have a chainsaw carver carve a barred owl, which is kind of native to the area and can be seen by the Scantic River Trailhead. So we're gonna have that carved and mounted to a tree for everybody to appreciate along the rail trail. Currently, we're running a photography contest that is open to everyone. And our last event of the year is going to be an Arts and Culture Day on May 20th. We're gonna have it at East Windsor Park under the pavilion. We're gonna have a local artist as vendors. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have art activities for everybody, live demonstrations, and food from various local restaurants that represent different cultural cuisines such as Lebanese and Polish and Chinese and Indian, and give everybody a little taste of different foods from the area. And that will be our spending down of our budget for this year. And then next year, hopefully with our $4,900, we start all over.
Thank you. Any questions? Awesome.
And I just want to compliment you on the great work that you and your folks are doing. It's just amazing looking at all this art, and it's really impressive. So kudos for all the great stuff you're doing.
Thank you so much.
All right, so now we are gonna move on to 4D Veterans Commission.
Jim Barton, Chairman of the Veterans Commission, and the Veterans Commission is requesting funding for fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $1375, or $125 per meeting for 11 meetings for recording secretary and support services. This is a reasonable amount for the effort involved in creating, filing, and distributing agendas, attending meetings, and compiling and filing meeting minutes. Veterans Commission meetings generally last 1.5 to 2 hours. Also, the commission lacks staff for other necessary tasks such as correspondence, invitations to the Memorial Day Parade, marching units, letters to the military department requesting speakers, the police department regarding road closures, application to the Department of Defense for flyovers, and similar correspondence is necessary for the annual Veterans Day road race, as well as communication of thank you letters for certificates for sponsors. And obviously, the current inflationary economy is further grounds for the increase. The increase that we're asking for is, we are on the schedule for $75 per meeting. We were at 100 before the structure changed. But because we don't have town staff and because of all of these other things that need to be done, it's really nobody else for some of this stuff to fall to, except for that person, and that individual does a lot of extra stuff over and above recording minutes. As I said, just the agendas. She does graphics and postings for us on Facebook. We're trying to get some more participation this year in the Memorial Day Parade. So even today, we're trying to get through several steps for this flyover application. So one of them is the FAA that we were trying to get through today. And sometimes we're able to skip a meeting. So that's why I said we're requesting that $125, but only for 11 meetings. As far as the rate goes, in terms of the time of the meetings, I think we compare similarly to a number of other boards on the list. Actually, there are 10 other boards on the list that compare similarly to us that are at the 125 or 150 rate. So, I like the structure of that. And it's hard to pigeonhole, make one size fit all, but, I think we should fit well in the, $125 range. So, I don't really think I have any more on that. We have one other item,
Memorial Day flag.
Memorial Day, that stays the same, that's $1,200, that's for the, flags for the cemetery.
That's in activities and fees in the general government.
We put over 1,000 flags on each, veterans grave in the 7 cemeteries. And, the cost of those have gone up too, but, I think we can keep that the same at the 1,200.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to 4E cemetery.
Can you see me or?
You can say you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, they can see you.
So, I'm Bob Rybeck from the Eastern Cemetery Association. So this year we're requesting, $50,000 in our budget. I know that you guys have a lot of numbers in front of you and you're probably looking at that saying, hey, that's a big difference from last year's number. But just for those that are not aware, probably 16, 17 years ago, maybe longer than that now, we were receiving $45,000. And through some changes in the organization and changes in the, the town's budget, that got cut down to 15,000. So we've kind of been operating on a really tight budget ever since then. And most of what we do is taking care of the grass, mowing the lawn, cleaning up the branches. We're about to do our spring cleanup in April, so all of the ornaments, memorials that people leave on gravestones and everything gets cleaned up, put in a dumpster and taken away. And just the cost of all of that and mainly mowing the grass is almost $46,000 in our budget. So really what we were requesting covers most of that. When we don't get the full amount requested, a lot of the line items below there, like tree work, pavement repairs, fences, those are all the things that we have to cut out. So we haven't done any pavement repairs in a very long time. We haven't filled cracks, we haven't done any new pavement, and all of that's aging. So just wanted to kind of point that out to you guys, hoping to work that number back up eventually. But we understand that you guys have to make some tough decisions, so.
I think Jason and the board of selectmen set them at 30. They were at 25 last year, and he set them at 30 this year.
Any questions on what we do or how we do it, or?
Have you got any bids on repairing the pavement?
No.
I mean, but isn't Scannick getting pretty bad too?
Yeah, Scannick, Winterville, Springdale's not too bad.
Anything else? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Patrick, did they put a sign up for it? They did, okay.
All right, we are on to warehouse point library. I know I. Okay, I'm like, I know I.
Or can you not hear me? You'll have to tell me those, I don't hear very well.
Okay.
I'm Elise Spielberg, I'm the president of the Library Association, where I have the point board of trustees. I am not normally the one to do the presentation. We did have a library director. Unfortunately, she retired at the March 24th and has moved to May. So I'm here in her place and I will do the council by 10. Fortunately, we do have a new library director coming in April, so next year we will have a library director to present to you, to the board of finance. We do have a PowerPoint presentation I would like us to cover off if possible. Maybe. If not, I have lots of pretty pictures I can pass around and share.
And I got to figure out how to share it.
So while we're doing that, the Library Association for Arts Point has put in a request for $315,000 this year. And we are a tremendous asset to the town of East Windsor. We are the principal library for the town of East Windsor. And if you get the presentation account up there, but we are doing an awful lot of training that engage the community and bring in everybody of all sorts of ages, free of course. Okay.
No, we're done. No.
No, thank you. I'm gonna go. Okay, it's nice and small. I'm gonna go bigger.
I guess it's not going any bigger. So what we're showing you here is one of our programs that has been well attended. Our mission statement, we welcome everyone to freely access library materials, services, and technology with assistance from our staff. And we have a wonderful staff. They're very caring and very responsive to our patrons. Thank you. Great. Even better for me. These are some of the databases we have online that you can read about, that you can access digitally. We also have brought in an outdoor extender so that you can pull up to the parking lot at any time, 24 hours a day. If you needed to have access to Wi-Fi, you can just even sit in your car or sit at the park bench that we have there, and you can access Wi-Fi. We opened up since April 2022 for evening hours. Thank you. This is exciting to us. Our library director really felt that it was important that we should have access to the Main Street area to open up our library. Our entrance here has been closed down for 30 years. So this is one way of bringing back the walking to the town. We were looking at some of the focus that Warehouse Point was looking at to become more of a walkable community. So we applied for this grant, and we were fortunate to receive the library construction grant from the Connecticut State Library Board. So with the project being paid for in part with state funds provided by the Connecticut State Library, I knew that you say that, very important, part of my grant. So, and what we are now in is phase 1 of the grant, in which we are matching. We have sent out letters to the community in order to match the $95,000 and $95,335. When that phase is completed and we've matched the grant, we will continue on to the next phases. And the idea is we've brought out the entryway. I know the Arts Commission had talked about a mural. And we're putting in safety windows, we're widening it. In addition to that, we're creating a new circulation desk, which will be easier to access, more modern and much more user-friendly for both the patrons and the staff members who work there. And that's all been included in the cost of this construction grant. And we'll have electronic signs and a lobby, and it'll be open and people can walk by or ride a bike and come right in from there. Okay, thank you. Some of the ways that we support the library is not just from the funding from the town, but we are doing a lot of granting. So we had a fiber to the library grant to tell us what we need to do for our technology. They pointed out that we need a good amount of money to upgrade our infrastructure. So the next, what we're waiting for now is the next grant to come out. And that's the grant we'll apply for. That will hopefully, we'll get the grant and we'll pay to have our technology infrastructure upgraded. Over the summer, we worked with the school system. We were able to get a grant. We purchased a 3D printer. We have a wonderful Christine Ross Memorial Fund that really helps us with all our programming over the summer and through the years to create really exciting programs for children. And the Lions Club contributes the large print books to us. And you just have some samples. There's a big part of it. Now, here's we come into the comparison of how East Windsor compares to other towns of chosen population and the statewide. And you can see we're always first, we're always lowest. And we continue there. Here we are again, East Windsor, and our wages are definitely lower than most of the surrounding towns. In fact, when we applied, we put our ad in for a library director. We're very fortunate we found somebody, but we are very much lower than most people. And here's one of the biggest areas that's of a concern that we've always faced over the years, but we do great with the amount of staff we have. We have one full-time employee, that's all in our library. And you can see that the average of chosen populations is higher. And we have 8 part-time versus 5 for there. We have 8 part-time employees. But I have to say, we have a fabulous staff, a dedicated staff. And I must say, I think we do a wonderful job. And if you've been to our library, you might even shake your head and say, yes, we do a wonderful job with the amount of staff we have. Thank you.
They're wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so we have seen a 6% increase in circulation from last year. We have 48 adult programs, we have gardening programs and crafts, we have movies, we have book clubs. So we're asking 315,000, but in addition to that, I wanted to highlight another program that started this year. And that's a program that we're doing with the high school, in which we're bringing in students from the transitional program, and they're coming in monthly to the library with a staff member from the high school. And they're learning about, they got library cards, they're learning about books, movies, how to check out books, being introduced on how to use the many digital resources that we have. And it's been a very exciting program, and I think it's been very well received by everybody. And the other thing is we received a $5,000 grant from the Hartford Foundation through the East Windsor Greater Together Fund. And our goal in that is we have decided we really want to emphasize, and if you've ever, our logo is a little dinosaur. We really want to emphasize the importance of the dinosaur discovery that took place in East Windsor. So we've designed and we're working on a garden that's going to highlight the discovery of the dinosaur with some plantings from that time period. We're eventually working in many stages to have a dinosaur sculpture, to have signage, to have all sorts of information. So it's a nice calming area, but at the same time, educational as well. I think I hit most of the highlights. $315,000 is what we've been asking. So thank you very much. And I'll entertain some questions. I think. Thank you.
No, I'm good. Okay, question for me. I'll do my best.
I was sure that the board of selectmen left it at 315. I know that helps, but.
Any additional questions?
No, thank you. I think you're very in-depth.
Thank you. I appreciate the time and we appreciate the support we've been given over the years as well. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
My sheet shows 310.
I don't know.
Honestly, I'm not within that looking.
I don't know. Well, Jay must have reduced it.
While you're looking, I just wanted to compliment the library as well. Our grandchildren go there and the staff are so kind and helping. My grandkids love going there. So your folks are doing a great job.
Thank you. We're glad to hear that. Thank you so much.
Page 9 on that one.
Yeah, it does look like we only did 310. This year's 299, 750, and we did 310 for a 3.4% increase.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you. Oh, I like, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're on. We're up.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
If you want that little screen, I don't know.
Well, the video, that's having your back.
All right.
You passed out.
Right, yeah, yep, there, yeah. So everyone have a copy of the detail, this one.
Is
Yeah. It's not the big buck.
Yeah, so we basically have 2 documents. We have a budget book.
Oh, yeah. Turn it out for noise. Want to give you the attention of easily distracted.
So you should have 2 documents. You should have the budget booklet. And then you should have the units breakdown. I'll allow Ryan to give a better description what's in the units sheets.
Yeah, so as far as the munis sheets go, as you're all fully aware, I'm sure, is we had to redo the whole chart of accounts this year. Up through page 13 is fiscal year 23, and then next year, the proposed FY 24 budget. After page 13 is gonna be the previous 3 years, which were the old chart of accounts. I think it kind of speaks to how much progress we've made, just because once you get past page 13, it becomes a little bit harder to kind of tell what's going on there. But hopefully, you know, moving forward in the coming years, the 3 columns there on the left that have the zeros, those will start to fill in as we go, and we'll be able to have you know, accurate data and be able to actually predict trends and just be overall better moving forward.
So,
I was gonna say, so I think that's where, for me, I struggle. So do we have any actual spent from the prior fiscal year to compare on what we need?
Yeah, so this would be after page 13, you'll see the actuals
Here,
from.
Yeah.
we have no current,
Mhm.
those, there's page 15, and that's the 2 years prior to that, but nothing in the current.
Well, I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, so how do I compare, like, how are we comparing that?
so I guess that's along my same question.
Yeah.
So are we starting like this budget, this one we're doing, are we starting zero base, like? Or are we kind of taking last year's, which was kind of right, and doing a little of both?
Yeah, we're doing a little bit of both. We're doing the
Okay.
best we can with
All right.
that, what, you know, what we
Gotcha.
can suss out of it, and then kind of moving forward with that, and hopefully bring the TMS there in the past.
So this actually has current budget and next year's budget and current year actual.
On page 20.
So the first 13 pages have the year we're living in, what they've spent so far this year and what they're asking for.
Right.
The other ones are the
Because last
history,
year,
and
yeah.
you just have to
Okay.
figure out what it counts as on.
Okay.
So just for me, so on page 29 on the bottom. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to report, sorry. So the prior year fiscal year 2, I guess you call it, that's 2020, correct? That number on that 2,284,285,000 in 2020.
Yeah, it'll go, so it goes 2020, 21, 22, and then where you see that 25, 7, 25, that's current year. And then the far right column, projection level 3 there, that'll be
Your current year.
FY 24, yeah.
And then
So no, the other one is 2021. So 2020 is actually the very first column, which they didn't really use.
yeah,
Remember, Andy didn't install it
Yeah,
for
you
the
guys-
2020 year, we did, but they didn't.
okay,
But so you actually have 2021 is the prior fiscal year 2.
okay.
21, 22 is the year that ended last June 30. Current year is 22, 23, and then the projection is 23, 24.
So the current year actuals is, and that's what you have encumbered so far would be the 24,067,000.
Yeah, so that's everything, that's the current expenditures and the encumbrances.
Okay, all right. And we budgeted 25,725,000.
Correct.
Okay. Got it. And then the year before is 21 was, or 22 was 2.24,600,000, and then the year before that was 24,200,000. Got it. That makes sense. And looking through it, obviously you had contract negotiations recently for the employees. And I don't have the actual number, it's probably right there. Did I get that on the truck? I just take it. Yeah, you just look for it. Pull out some, I'm trying to. I switched vehicles tonight and I didn't know. Which,
Or was it this one?
maybe that one. I'm sorry. Those are the other. Yeah. Someone else can ask, finding my question that I didn't bring. with me.
Well, you have like.
We can take up.
Yeah, you. I get my back.
I'll give her back, she probably knows.
Yeah, I have no. There is one in the budget.
Again, mine is more of a compliment. I was looking at this current budget proposal and I looked back a couple of years and this is very impressive, a lot more comprehensive, gives a great picture of the students at the different school, what they're doing, what some of your goals are. So I was really impressed with the job that you folks have done this year. Gives us a lot more of a better picture of what's going on in the school and the district-wide things like that. So again, compliments for a great job on this.
We appreciate that, and certainly we understand, this is kind of the beginning of building, that history so that we have, essentially a foundation to build on.
When you built the budget for the FY 24, are we using FY 23's projected spending to determine the increases then?
But a combo of,
Well, it's a combination of.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah.
Contractual increases,
Perfect,
everything
yeah.
as well, yes.
Make my life easier, because I can't find where I wrote notes and I said, I didn't bring it.
are you in a
Contract,
different vehicle?
yeah, it's with-
Oh,
it's home.
gotcha.
It's in my truck's at home.
So if you email us too later, we'll.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll follow up as well.
And I was working on trying to, so your contractual increase, of the increase of, that number's here, because I can make that sense. So you had an increase from last year's budget, this year's budget, of just a touch over $1 million. What percentage of, or what a dollar amount of that is your actual salary increases and health benefit increases and I mean, you have that number, that's what I was trying to put together when I was going through all the numbers I had at home to determine what percentage of your actual $1 million
It
increase.
was, I want to say it was almost, the insurance increase was almost, I think you remember this, yeah, you have the whole number.
Yeah, the insurance is kind of, I pulled out on the munis report, but it's the salary one when I total up all your, that's what I was trying to come up with that number. Yeah,
Is health insurance $499?
oh, here's the salary.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing.
$199,000?
Page 7.
No, our, no, it's much more than that.
Oh, okay.
That could be the increase.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were just saying.
No, the increase was $499.
You
go in your truck.
No, he's saying it's computer, it's just easier.
So this week, I don't know, this is one of the highlights, so
Yeah, or my page 7, you page 7.
Yeah, so there's, I think you can figure it, no.
So the two questions were the dollar amount of the increase for insurance and then the dollar amount of salary increases.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out of your increase in your total budget, you're asking for $1 million more.
Correct.
What, and I was trying to put that, it looks like here, so salaries are, looks like. Okay, the increase in the local budget is $605,000 according to this one right here. Yeah. And then medical insurance was $336,000, right, that's what we're looking for. So that's almost $1 million.
Yeah, sorry, what page is on that one?
No,
I think this is the whole
Our
one.
pages are different. That's what we're just comparing. Like our page 7 is
So it
different
might
page
be-
7.
Is that different?
Well, there's different, there's a title different, this says.
Oh, I gave you the wrong one.
Okay.
That was the, was that the one I gave?
Oh, this is,
no,
that's the one
he's
you.
from old meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay, make
So-
that go away.
Yeah, yeah, correct, so. So it has the table in it. So there was an initial booklet that said superintendents and that one was a total of 4.88. The primary decrease was health insurance, because at that time it was 10%. It went down to 7.4 and through the Board of Ed workshops, there were several changes, both decreases and increases with a total net of additional decrease, and that then transitioned from the superintendent's proposed budget, which was I believe in early February, to the Board of Ed's proposed budget. So the booklet that says Board of Ed's proposed budget is the one that has the most.
What's in your budget book?
Yeah.
Yes, it's in there
Yeah.
too. That's what
So that other book is from early February, and those numbers are now outdated.
You did a good job.
So insurance overall is going up 7.4%.
Yeah.
But we did in this breakdown show how much was related, so it was 0.97% increase in the actual budget for a total of $249,000. Once he dropped it from 10% to 7.4.
That was under district wide, and the new system under district wide is where the health benefit.
Correct, and so one change from, like last, well, actually this current operating budget to next year's proposed was, previous, so we receive, essentially a revenue source. It's, through our open choice, program. It's, for students that come through that program that receive special ed, services. We get, reimbursed for those costs because we provide the services. In previous years, and actually the way this current school year is set up, is that has always offset insurance. One of the changes we're making is because it's a special ed revenue, it makes more sense for that revenue to be offsetting our special ed expenses. So in the FY 24 proposed budget, you'll see that revenue in special ed. On this current operating budget, and in past years had offset medical. So it would appear that like the local cost was less. So that is a big difference because it's almost 800,000 projected for FY 24. So it drives, makes insurance and that department look like it's going way up, and then special ed, I think net is reported at 2.19, but if we did not put that revenue towards special ed, the true increase overall to the operating is 14%, just over 14%. And thus, where's insurance district-wide?
Yeah.
District-wide would be much lower. It actually would show as a decrease as far as total. The primary change is there is that where we were putting that revenue source. You have, I'm fighting with the internet.
Is that the password?
No.
No, Patrick has a password. Amy doesn't remember. I just have to keep.
It's not that one. It's the hidden network.
See?
How many of these?
You have to put it in there. While he pulls up that, are there additional questions?
It's probably right in front of me, but I can't find it. So how many total kids are in our school system right now?
Approximately 1,050 from preschool through grade 12. Does not include our transition program.
Is that status quo from prior year or?
Approximately. I mean, if you looked at our enrollment last year, it would be slightly higher. But we also took in more students through the choice program. So as far as local resident students, it's approximately the same. Next year, we are scheduled to be back as far as enrollments in the choice program to what we were last year.
That was because you changed to take younger grade, right?
We did, so we made a shift as far as, one of the things what we did, in past practice was, we would take students in low enrollment grades. We reshift our emphasis to start, early elementary so that, essentially they're with us through the K through 12 experience and, which our thought processes will be more successful as far as integrating and giving them the experience that it's designed to do. So I can tell you, we've done a tremendous amount of work with that. This year, that was the thought process, but there was a low number that identified us as our first choice. But due to our work, particularly with Cheryl, who's here, we are being identified by quite a few as, the first choice. So those numbers are projected to go back up.
And I know you mentioned this, no, you said you got rid of one. You got rid of one regular school bus route in town.
I believe that's accurate.
Okay, because I noticed the student transportation is down 16% or $150,000 a year.
You know what the transportation, is that because, that might, so, I don't know. So one of the other changes we made was, so more our local transportation company, Smith Bus. I think most people are familiar with Smith Bus. Smith Bus was always in its entirety of services, in the regular transportation budget. One of the differences we made with this, budget is we differentiated, the specialized transportation routes that Smith, does and place that in the special ed department.
Okay.
And previous if Smith provided it, it was in the local budget. So part of that, difference is just really the movement from regular transportation to special ed transportation, because ultimately, if there wasn't a need, we wouldn't be providing those routes or those transportations. But we did have a reduction in need with transportation, but not to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 'cause you said, I thought you mentioned.
No, no, that's fine. No, one route doesn't count off.
Like, for some of the transportation, yes, that's, I think one of them that started was special ed transportation, yeah, and, but it, obviously, I mean, I appreciate you getting things split out in your budget more correct and running it, so it's going, like I said, going forward, it's gonna be a lot easier to follow and understand, and so, but yeah, but that answered that question, thank you.
And Ryan has that answer to, insurance. So did you want the dollar amount for increase, or did you want the total amount for insurance budget?
I was just looking for the increase in this.
That's a total, so approximately 337,000.
Okay. And then the other one, but was this, the contractual salary increases that people, I mean, what was that approximate dollar?
The dollar amount's easier.
Yeah.
It'll be 5 different.
Yeah. Just the dollar.
Now, the dollar amount they'll give you will be the local dollar amount, because
Yeah.
we have a number of salaries.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the dollar.
Yeah,
The local, I don't, grants are the more grants the better, obviously, but.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you in Esther alone, like I was counting earlier today, I believe we have 12 positions in, Esther. Great.
Well, he's looking at too, the salaries for this upcoming year, that's those are with the current negotiations that you just did, right?
When we put this, it was, yes, there's one union, that we haven't started to negotiate with, their contract extends through this year. So we haven't started negotiation, but, with the exception of that, yes. We did put a placeholder, in for that group.
Do you know what? Your placeholder was?
I do.
Negotiation.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Maybe tell me in the chat.
Thank you, Mimi.
Oh, you just put it all right there.
From the local, about 500,000. Yeah.
So of the, basically, but I just, yeah, just kind of, so of the $1,023,000 increase that we're asking for going into this current year from last year, 337 and so $837,000 you're telling is contracted and insurance, basically, of the $1 million more there.
Right. Yeah.
I was trying to go through mine and put it together myself, and I figured maybe it will open this computer a little bit. That was my big question. is the. I mean, and I think you answered the other day, I mean. Again, I mean, right now, currently between encumbrances and your budget, you're about $1.7 million, 1.6 something, but I mean, you think you're gonna have extra close, or where do you think you're gonna come in at? That's just a rough estimate. I know it's hard, because we still got months left, but.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be close. I don't think we're gonna be sitting on, a ton of money. I really want to play conservative at the moment, and we're gonna meet with the board of finance, or the board of subcommittee soon to kind of present what I have for projections, and I think we'll come in pretty close.
Because I know the last few years, I mean, again, there's been some accounting issues throughout the year with the prior services that it was about 400,000, in 22, or that's what I call it, and in 21 was almost 500,000. So I just kind of.
Yeah, it won't be. It won't be.
Yeah. And some of those numbers weren't known until well after the year closed either, so.
Yeah, I mean, there is, I'll tell you, there is still a part in the current year that there's an unknown factor as far as, like, give a perfect example, like our magnet school, tuitions, there's like 12 students in which, like, we're being billed for, but they're not registered, so we send out letters to have them registered, and not one went to register, there's question, we're not paying the bill, and we can verify that the rest, but that adds up, and then there's a revenue source from the state that we're looking for verifications as far as will be confirmed. So there are smaller things that are still like up in the air that will impact those projections as far as is it really an expense versus like that projected revenues and what we think it is.
Yeah. And just, just again, in my mind, I'm saying, we actually cut your budget a few years to get to a number we felt would be presentable to the town. And, for 2 years, you came up with, let's call it almost $500,000 left over. And, so it just kind of sitting here and, the townspeople can ask questions too. It's just, and I hope you come up within $100,000. I mean, that'd be great if you do $100,000. I mean, to come up with a couple of years that have almost $500,000, it just kind of a little question in my mind, but I mean, you answered my question tonight, and I'm good. Thank you.
And I mean, I think both it's very fair feedback. The only thing that I'll point out, that wasn't how we.
It's not your fault, it's not you, but it was, I understand, I mean, but the prior accounting services were not doing the job they needed to do for you, and like I said, you heard me say it many times, I really appreciate the changes you made, so.
No, thank you.
This is best information, easiest to read information, and I think we've already said tonight that we've already gotten from your group, so I certainly, appreciate that.
Thank you. I can tell you we're trying.
Yep, you are. I'm good.
Anybody else? Right now?
Okay.
So I think we're good right now,
Okay.
but I will let you know what night we're gonna sit down and kind of like go back and forth and all that good stuff, so that you can be here.
Yeah, thank you. I will make sure we're both available.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Right now, that's scheduled for April 5th. That's next Wednesday.
Are we back in the meeting now?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So, anything else, any more questions? I think it's gonna be your last chance tonight. And then we have Monday at 7, we have Wednesday at 7. And then we have our if needed on April 10th and April 1st. No?
Just one question.
Only that one. Within, edit, it's, 90. Thank you.
This is more a curiosity. How many in the graduating class? Okay. Reject. Oh, okay.
We have, what's 10? What's 8th grade?
Right now, 84.
84. And then every grade, What's the remaining grades? They're higher.
They're higher.
I didn't know about.
I would say we're about 75.
Anybody else? Okay, motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All in favor?